strangest things that have ever been caught on camera, part 2. This footage from a security camera in Alaska shows what appears to be a real-life Men in Black agent talking to the store's receptionist. Unfortunately, there isn't any audio in this clip, but what the man appears to say to the woman alarms her, as she reaches into her drawer, pulls out a gun, and aims it at the man. But all the man does in response is remain calm, lift his hand in the air, tilt it, and then put it right back down on the desk. This seemed to put the woman in some sort of a trance, as she put the gun down and gave him a mysterious package. This next video shows a woman shopping in China when an item behind her mysteriously falls down. She then proceeds to pick it up and put it back onto the shelf. Immediately after doing this, she begins to act very strangely, as if she was being possessed. She then falls to the ground and proceeds to freak out as if she was in severe pain. As the other shoppers in the store try to help the woman, she lets out a ghostly scream which causes the camera to flicker and items to shake. Many people believe that this lady was possessed.
What is the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder? First-degree murder is intentional and premeditated, so you plan it out beforehand. Second-degree murder is intentional, but a spur of the moment, so you didn't really plan it out, it just happened.
This is Sarah Johnson. She's 16 years old and she is charged with killing both her mother and her father at the age of 16. So what had happened was that she was 16, she was dating a 19-year-old illegal immigrant, which did not fly very well with her conservative Republican parents, that not only was he older, but he was also in the country illegally. So they would fight a lot, and then she went and said that she was engaged, and the parents said, absolutely not, you are not engaged. And then the following day she took a gun, she shot her dad twice in the chest, and her mom once in the heart. So she called police saying she walked into a robbery and that the robber had killed the parents, which is so classic and overused, but hey, they're 16. So the police called her older brother. I believe it's a half-brother, step-brother, but anyway, there's that relation there. And he immediately was like, how could your boyfriend do this? And she was like, yeah, how could he do this? Part 2 coming. So part 2 of Sarah Johnson. So the brother had really started to be concerned that it was her, even though at first he thought it was the boyfriend. Then he thought maybe they did it together. So she was arrested because they did find DNA evidence in the bathroom that had her DNA on a latex glove that also had gunshot residue. She did retrieve the gun from the guest house where a family friend was staying and was out of town for the weekend. She shot her mother in the sleep and then her dad when he was in the shower. Her mom was shot once in the head and dad was shot twice in the chest. So she was arrested. She pleaded not guilty. She ended up, there's mountains of DNA evidence and basically everybody testified against her, mostly for her behavior after the fact, not even before. It's just really after the fact. And the boyfriend didn't get anything. I think he was involved more than they're saying, but I'm just a PhD student. Nobody cares about my opinion. Part 3 is coming right out. So part 3. She was charged with 2 concurrent life sentences plus 15 years for a gun charge, which she's serving why? Okay, anyway, rant over. She was charged 2 concurrent life sentences plus a gun charge, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then they tried to get another case because they were saying she had inadequate lawyers the first time. That was thrown out. Then she tried to reappeal to 1 life sentence because she was under the age of 18. They tried using Miller versus Alabama and her conviction was still upheld. So really the court system of Alabama wanted her behind bars for her life now and then her next life, clearly. So most of the time, I'm gonna end this part here and then start part 4 where I talk about like kind of the psychology behind it. So part 4 coming. So part 4, I'm going to talk more about the psychology behind this case. So most of the time when a parent is shot in their sleep, especially by a female perpetrator, the rule is that there's a lot of abuse you have to look at in the household. There's something that isn't adding up because 9 times out of 10, the profile of this case indicates that there's a strong likelihood of abuse. However, that wasn't the case. Her parents were actually very supportive of her, except for her relationship with her boyfriend. They just wanted what was best for her. So then when you have cases where there's a boyfriend or a significant other involved, there's a lot of manipulation and that relationship is most likely abusive. And she's normally under the spell of the significant other, which I think happened in this case. I think she really just wanted to grow up and they were in the way. And So that does happen quite a bit. Normally, though, you'll find that there's more of an aggressive killing with these types, even for a female offender. Part 5 coming, I'm sorry.
There was a time when it literally rained human tissue. It was a muggy August morning in Oakville, Washington in '94. The air felt unstable like a wicked electrical storm was due to begin. An officer was working an overnight when something bizarre began falling from the sky. He turned on his wipers, which only smeared the gelatinous substance all over his windshield, making it impossible to see. The blobs fell over a 20 square foot mile radius, and even the most gifted scientists were stumped. This weird precipitation fell a total of 6 times. Within 24 hours of the first incident, people began showing up at hospitals with a mysterious illness. They suffered from difficulty breathing, vertigo, blurred vision, fever, and nausea, and the illness lingered for months. Sadly, several animals died after exposure. A sample of the jelly was sent to a lab for testing, and the findings were chilling. The blobs contained human white blood cells. A microbiologist tested them further and found that the blobs were also packed with 2 dangerous bacteria found in the human digestive tract. What?
This photo is not at all what it first appears to be, part 11. This looks like a selfie, and it was sent by Anna Faber to her boyfriend to show that she had been caught in the rain on September 29th, 2017 in the Netherlands. But it would be her last photo, because on this day, a man named Michael P., who had already been jailed previously for raping 2 underage girls, would hit her with his scooter, abduct her, assault her, and kill her. He received 28 years.